So we now have an announcement. So good morning. It's nice to see all of these bright, smiling faces. This week's Parsha, Shalech Lecha, starts with God telling Moses to send some emissaries to scout the land of Canaan. Moses tasks 12 scouts with this job. And he really just asks for a report of the facts. What do you really see? And what he says in Numbers chapter 13, verses 12 to 20 is, see what kind of country it is. Are the people who dwell in it strong or weak, few or many? Is the country in which they dwell good or bad? Are the towns they live in open or fortified? Is the soil rich or poor? Is it wooded or not? And take pains to bring back fruit of the land. Now, this is pretty direct instructions. When they returned, 10 of the 12 scouts reported the following. This is from verses 27 and 28. We came to the land you sent us to. It does indeed flow with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. However, the people who inhabit the country are powerful, and the cities are fortified and very large. Moreover, we saw Anakites there. And Anakites are giants. So in their report, rather than just sticking to the facts, kind of like Sergeant Friday in Dragnet, just the facts, ma'am, they embellished. So some of the commentators see this shift from objective factual reporting to subjective opinion as an indication of the spy's anxiety. And this anxiety really shows up a few lines later, lines 32 and 33, where we have these 10, just the 10, saying, the country we traversed and scouted is one that devours its settlers. All the people we saw there are of great size. We saw Nephilim there. The Anakites are part of the Nephilim. And we looked like grasshoppers to ourselves, and so we must have looked to them. So it seems to me that these 10 scouts were really frightened, and certainly their exaggerated reporting got the Israelites really stirred up and ready to rebel and go back to Egypt. So we've all been frightened at times. Sometimes we are frightened of perceived potential physical danger. Sometimes we might be frightened by an unseen virus. There are a myriad of possible things that frighten us. And when we get frightened, it is absolutely natural that our adrenaline kicks in and we go into fight, flee, or freeze. This is a normal human reaction. So what do we do to manage our fear so we don't impulsively rush to return to Egypt? So for me, the answer is to practice hitlamdut, gentle curiosity. By not fighting or fleeing from my fear or trying to repress it, but by sitting and investigating it and trying to really be accepting, I can manage. Sometimes better than other times, but that's a separate story. So the way we do this is that we ask ourselves, what does this fear feel like in my body? What am I noticing? Is my belly constricting? Is my heart racing? Do I have, pains in my neck and shoulders? And as we kind of check in physically with ourselves about what we're experiencing, we're remembering to breathe, and maybe we're slowing our breath down a little bit. And maybe we can tap into our own compassion and bless ourselves with some compassion for this unpleasant feeling that we're experiencing. So my go-to is the wonderful teaching from Sylvia Boorstein of placing a hand on my heart and saying to myself, sweetheart, you're frightened. You're scared. It's okay. I love you. And just keep doing that until I settle. At least settle enough to pay attention. And once we've settled enough, we're able to really see a little bit more clearly and discern whether our fear is true or not. We can notice if that fear is grounded in reality and is serving to protect us. That's an important thing to notice. And then we can respond appropriately. But we can also notice if that fear is exaggerated, if we're engaging in catastrophizing, which many of us slip into pretty easily. And if we can notice that, then we can ground ourselves in the reality that things aren't as terrifying as we had originally thought. And we have so many tools at our disposal to help us further calm down and stay calm and then move forward. So the end of this parsha, we're given a way to remember that we need to take care of ourselves and see more clearly. And that's the tzitzit. The purpose of the tzitzit, as I understand it from this parsha, is to remember to put that hand on our chest, to love ourselves and to say, wait a second, what's real here? Were Caleb and Joshua correct that things aren't so awful in Canaan? Or were these other 10 scouts correct? What's the truth? What's really true here? So we have the tzitzit to look at and to hold, to remind us to see more clearly, or anything else that each of us individually can come up with. For me, it's definitely the hand on the heart. So with that, I invite you to take your seat. And get comfortable. I'm sitting with a nice erect spine. Checking that your chin is parallel to the floor so that you're not tilting your head up or bending your head down. Make it a little bit easier on the back of your neck. And you may want to close your eyes or not. And let's take a nice, deep cleansing breath. Breathing in through your nose as fully as you can. And slowly exhaling through your mouth. And doing that one more time, at least. Several more times if you choose to. And making some sound with that exhale. You're on mute, no one's going to hear you. Sighing is good. And always, 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 if it's comfortable for you and you're so inclined, put a hand on your heart. As we slowly and gently come back to the room, I'm going to share a poem by Thomas Smith, Trust. It's like so many other things in life to which you must say no or yes. So you take your car to the new mechanic. Sometimes the best thing to do is trust. The package left with a disreputable looking clerk. The check gulped by the night deposit. The envelope passed by dozens of strangers. All show up at their intended destinations. The theft that could have happened doesn't. Wind finally gets where it was going through the snowy trees, and the river, even when frozen, arrives at the right place. And sometimes you sense how faithfully your life is delivered, even though you can't read the address. So I am going to invite you all to unmute as you are desiring and share any questions, comments, insights that you would like to share.